So, hello everyone, and the topic which we want to take today is a very interesting topic. We are going to discuss about how we think in the extremes, how our thoughts go in the extreme, which is either hot or cold, or we look at black or white, rather than taking a path in between. And the topic also impacts our professional as well as personal life. So that's the topic, Shantesh, which we would like to take today.
Yeah, and when you're talking about thinking in the extremes, Prasanna, I was just remembering about Guru's conversation. One of the examples he had mentioned, Guru is Prasanna's brother, and many years he was telling me about this incident. So he was in a teacher's training program where he was training these government school teachers. And he told me about this incident where, while training the teachers, one of the teachers was extremely upset and agitated with one particular student. The student had taken the compass and while play fighting with another person, had poked and it pierced through his hand. So the teacher was extremely agitated, saying that this is the worst thing some kid can do. There is nothing beyond that. And she wasn't even the other that when Guru was trying to tell her about this incident. So Guru was telling me about when you think about the extreme scales, you are never able to kind of perceive anything above and beyond that. So he just brought this fear down first by telling her, yet you have to measure with where units stand out on the scale of 0 to 10. It doesn't matter if your scale goes beyond 10. The teacher said, and the Guru asked her that instead of his hand, what if it was the thigh? Now where does it stand on the scale? Maybe 6. Now when the scale drops, you are able to work on the situation on your own. And that's an incident, an anecdotal incident, which is kind of coming to my mind in the background as we introduce the topic.
Yeah, absolutely, Shantesh, as you rightly said, and I think technically what it is called is catastrophizing, and that's what we keep doing many times. And various aspects of our life, we see when new thing comes, or whenever there is a change happening in our life, we take it to such an extreme that we catastrophize it. And or the other side is also where we completely neglect it. Like for example, I would like to take the topic on which I am doing some work, some research also, which is the topic of impact of artificial intelligence on our professional lives or our careers. Now, if you look at it, the same thing is happening. There are a few people who are at the extreme of it, which is catastrophizing and saying that, oh, we will be ruled by AI, we will be completely devastated, and all those things are coming at one extreme. And the other extreme is all these things are new fads and they will vanish very soon, which I think both are not very good stands to take. I am not saying right or wrong, but not a very good stand to take, because it will always be in between, like any other technology which we have seen in so many years. Technology has been always a two-sided or two-edged sword, as we say. It can be used for the betterment of humanity, but then there are the negative sides of it also, which we have seen throughout. So that's again a good example, I would say, when it comes to extreme thinking.
Absolutely, but taking an example of something which does not exist still or still is not abundantly seen, as opposed to considering to make it relatable. I was just back in the background thinking that about social media and how people have catastrophized there. That now, in the light of how their kids are using social media or how it's impacting teenagers in particular, we aren't able to kind of then see beyond that. Like what happens actually, the advantages, the positives of social media, or the potential of that. And that is why it then becomes a limiting factor. If we see this conversation is part of social media in a way.
No, absolutely. And social media also, as you said, the one extreme which we take is that it is absolutely bad and the screen time which we spend is bad. It is not fully wrong. But if you see, for example, a platform like Facebook, for example, I know there are many negative sides of Facebook. We have heard about how analytics has been used to manipulate elections, and all those things are there. I'm not saying no. But at the same time, just look at the people of our parents' age who are on Facebook like platform and are getting connected to their school friends or college friends and have visibility now about their life, what is happening. Otherwise, there was no access at all. They had very little, or if there was a visibility if they are in the same town, of course they would meet each other, but people who have gone into different cities, different countries, there was zero access. Suddenly it has opened up. There are several meetups happening of those people in their schools, colleges, or their past organizations. So all those things have become possible. Even people of our age who have been into different countries, for example, and who cannot regularly meet other than once in a year visit to their country. So even for them, it is a very good access to keep in touch with their friends, share videos, have Zoom calls. So all those things have made easy. So one extreme is a Zoom call or a Facebook live cannot match a real conversation the way a person meets, which is fully true. But not having a call at all is much better. It is much better to have at least Zoom call twice a week or once a week at least for many people.
Yeah, and the point is about not highlighting the pros and cons. It's about being able to see things as it is. What we are trying to highlight in this conversation is that when we start catastrophizing things, when we make it beyond the scale, there is a filter that comes. And then anything other than that is never visible. Even if it comes in front of us, it is always measured against that scale. And therefore, it becomes challenging for us. We become, in a way, impaired to see anything beyond that, even if it is right in front of us.
Absolutely. And I think that should be the key takeaway. So for me, what is opening up in this conversation, Shantesh, is that how important it is to come closer to reality. And many a times we forget that our thoughts are not real. They are just assumptions. And the moment we start getting into the inner layers of it, observing them, mindfully looking at them, we realize that the things which are there in our mind, all these extremes, either catastrophizing it or completely nullifying it, is just a perception which we have created. And that's about it. As you rightly said, we are not going into we should have that or not. It is to acknowledge that the perception exists.
Yeah, but when we are in a catastrophized situation, it is very easy for somebody else to see that the situation is catastrophized. For Guru to see that the teacher is catastrophizing her situation in her head was very easy. But if Guru himself was catastrophizing, it is almost impossible. It is like you're shut for that. So how do you first identify that, and then how do you develop a balanced thought? Now, one thing which comes to my mind in this conversation, Prasanna, is that first and foremost, practicing slowness. Really allowing yourself to slow down your thoughts allows you to kind of really bring yourself out of the catastrophized situation. Things aren't as worse as they are imagined in our head. And once the scale kind of comes down, I think balance becomes easier.
Yeah. I see the other side of slowness, which is mindfulness in a way, you can say, where being mindful about what we are doing, how we are doing, being aware about it, can be a very powerful access to at least see that whether we are catastrophizing it or nullifying or neglecting it.
Yeah. And I think we can complete our conversation at that note. Just one thing which I would like to kind of share before we complete is journaling as a practice has really allowed me to slow down my thoughts. Now, your mind is constantly racing and you're, jumping from one thought to another, but I cannot write that fast. I will never be able to kind of match up that speed of the way my mind is jumping around. And when you're writing, even if your thought is jumping, your hand is bringing back that thought to what text you're writing. It jumps again, you bring it back. It jumps again, you bring it back. And my only focus is about writing in cursive handed, because throughout the day, my habit of cursive writing is gone. So it's connecting back to my school days when I was taught how cursive writing is to be written, and that was the norm of the day in my school. And when you have to write consciously in cursive writing, I have to slow down my thoughts deliberately. And when you do that, it just anchors yourself to the situation. And when you're writing slowly about that thought, you are in a way then detaching from that thought. You are not implying it is you, but it happened to you. And when you don't identify yourself with the thought, with a sense of detachment, anything that was catastrophized that your head, it suddenly kind of brings its scale down. And in that, there is a moment of clarity. It comes with practice, but practice only happens if we start. If we can journal one page and really check that out, and if it helps, please share your thoughts. We would also like to know what your experience was. I think at that note, we can complete our today's conversation. Thank you so much for listening.